The very beginnings of the organization were a group of very passionate women who saw that women were getting beaten and said something has to be done.
So we were trying to treat these women for, anxiety and depression, and we couldn't really make the connect to what was causing that because everything on paper looked okay, but nobody had ever asked the question, how did you get that bruise? Did somebody do that to you?
And at that time, the response in emergency rooms, like, you've got to be kidding. We got to be asking these people. And what do you expect us to do if we get a yes? And they're probably going to tell us no anyway.
I remember seeing him just pound on her over and over and over again. And I remember thinking that this was normal and that this is how husbands treat their wives.
So I didn't know there was like a word for it, and when it wasn't so physical, that I didn't consider it physical abuse. I didn't think it was abuse.
I did not understand domestic violence until the staff at ABW taught me about domestic violence.
It was not unusual to be called to a house to see, a husband, wife, children, wife with a terrified look on her face, children with a terrified look, husband saying there's nothing wrong here, no visible injuries at all, and they'd be called back to the same houses over and over again.
The physical abuse piece made me want to just go fight. So I went and fought the way I could fight.
Once you face the truth of that, then you can't help but have joy if you know that you're working toward improving even one person's life.
I just am in awe of the founders and how they really started at a kitchen table and very purposefully called it Alternatives for Battered Women in a time when nobody wanted to call it that. Nobody wanted to acknowledge that intimate partner violence was happening, and definitely not next door.
In the very beginning, there was no shelter.
It was just a room that had, folding tables and folding chairs.
We could offer them strategies, and in fact still do. How do you plan to leave so that you're not at risk for your life?
It was necessary for the mothers and the children to have a safe place, so we rented space to them at cost for them to carry on their program.
The time that we had designated that we would open our doors officially was going to be 9 in the morning on July 9th, 1979. And lo and behold, the doorbell rings. And it is a police officer who got the word, and with him was a 16-year-old girl. All our efforts and our hard work to get the word out, to get ready, and we were serving an important purpose.
We've been a pillar in the community for so long as Alternatives for Battered Women, but what more can we do with what seems so simple as just changing your name?
I don't foresee my children or my future grandchildren ever having to go through what I went through.
How many lives they've saved just for one night, 1 week, 1 month.
I still send my new attorneys to Willow to spend a day being trained on domestic violence.
Willow really is a gem. I mean, they are unique in our community. They provide a service that is unparalleled.
I think we were one of the first programs to truly recognize that shelter was more than just a roof over your heads. That it wasn't just a safe place to go. It had to create safety on multiple levels.
So I just learned about the resilience of people, that they can overcome almost anything.
Over 40 years, Willow has grown and evolved to meet the need of survivors in the community, to help them move beyond abuse so they and their children are able to thrive.